Hello everyone, I'm Ralph Kiner, and welcome to the New York Mets Time Tunnel. Brought to you by our good friends at Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer, and Mitsubishi Motors. Each week, we'll embark on a journey through the Time Tunnel, delving deep into New York Mets history. Today, we're setting the coordinates to April 7, 1970, at Pittsburgh's Forbes Field, where the 1969 world champion New York Mets clashed with the Pittsburgh Pirates in a historic showdown. Experience the thrill as Cy Young winner Tom Seaver faces off against Steve Blass, amidst the cheers of 34,249 fans. But the excitement doesn't end with the final out. Witness the chaos of extra innings as the stadium erupts into pandemonium in what was the last home opener ever played at Forbes Field. The Mets sealed the victory in the 11th inning in dramatic fashion as pinch hitter Donn Clendenon silenced his former fans on the first pitch. His single to center chased home Swoboda and Jorgensen with the go-ahead runs, and Tug McGraw came on to get the save. Now, let's turn back the clock and listen to Bob Murphy set the stage and then the iconic call of the 11th inning of play by Lindsey Nelson. So crack open a Rheingold and get ready to experience the magic of Mets history as we journey through the Time Tunnel.
Greeting you on an overcast day from Forbes Field in Pittsburgh with the opening of the 1970 season for the defending world champion New York Mets. Here at game time, the skies are overcast. It is a rather nippy 48 degrees. Not much of a breeze, not enough to be a factor in the ball game. The playing field, slightly damp, but in pretty good condition. The starting pitchers of this opening day game for the New York Mets, the Cy Young Award winner, their ace right-hander, who last year won 25 and lost only 7, Tom Seaver. And on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates in today's opener, also their ace right-hander, a 16-game winner last season, right-hander Steve Blass. Overcast skies, 48-degree temperatures. It is about time to say play ball. And for the starting lineups and batting orders for today's opening game, our colleague, Mr. Ralph Kiner.
All right, Bob Murphy, and hi, everyone. And as we get set for the lineup, Mrs. Hannes Wagner is going to throw out the first ball here at Forbes Field. Of course, in memory of one of the greatest ball players of all time, Hans Wagner. For the New York Mets, the leadoff batter will be Tommy Agee in center field. Batting second at shortstop, Bud Harrelson. Batting third and playing third base, Joe Foy. Batting fourth in left field, Cleon Jones. Batting fifth at first base, Art Shamsky. Batting sixth in right field, Ron Swoboda. Batting seventh and playing second base, Wayne Garrett. Batting eighth and catching, Jerry Grody. And the pitcher, Tom Seaver, batting ninth. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, the leadoff batter will be the center fielder, Matty Alou. Batting second and playing third base, Richie Hebner. Batting third in right field, Roberto Clemente. Batting fourth in left field, Willie Stargell. Batting fifth at first base, Al Oliver. Batting sixth and playing shortstop, Gene Alley. Batting seventh, the catcher, Jerry May. Batting eighth and playing second base, Bill Mazeroski. And the pitcher, Steve Blass, batting ninth. Last year, the Mets won the World Series, and in the regular season, they won 100 ball games, lost 62. Bucks with a record of 88 and 74. They were 12 games back in third place in the Eastern Division in the National League. So here today, the final opening ever to be played here at Forbes Field, 61 opening days. This field built back in 1909. Pittsburgh Pirates are scheduled to move into the new ballpark later on this season. So here today, before just about a capacity crowd, we'll be seeing the last opener here in this historic ballpark.
Chuck Hartenstein in the ballgame now as the pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates in relief of Steve Blass, who pitched the first 10 innings, allowed 3 runs on 9 hits, struck out 9, and walked 2, one of them intentionally. Twiggy Hartenstein, a right-hander, at one time with the Chicago Cubs. Last year with the Pirates, he was in 56 games. He had a record of 5 wins and 4 losses and an earned run average of 3.94. He is a native Texan, and he weighs 150 pounds. Twiggy Hartenstein in relief of Steve Blass. Mike Jorgensen will be leading off for the Mets. The sun is shining brightly here in the late afternoon at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. It's burned off the overcast entirely. Blue sky overhead with a few fleecy white clouds up there. Jorgensen's up for his first time. He's a left-hand batter. And the pitch is in there for a called strike. Hartenstein last year against the Mets won none and lost one. His lifetime record against the Mets is 2 wins and 1 loss. His lifetime major league record 16 and 13. Swinging a base hit into left field for Jorgensen. Fielded out there by Stargell and played back. Jorgensen turns and holds with a single to left. So the Mets again have the tie-breaking run on at first base with nobody out, and Ron Swoboda is coming up. Swoboda today grounded out. Double, was called out on strikes and grounded out. Last year, in a memorable appearance here, he had a grand slam home run off Twiggy Hartenstein to win a ball game for the New York Mets. Pirates have to protect against the possible sacrifice. He squares and takes the pitch in for a called strike. Swoboda was around a bunt. He's looking down to sign man Eddie Yost at third to see if it's still on. Wayne Garrett is on deck. Here's the pitch, and it's bunted right out in front of the plate. Play at second base, and he is safe. As the throw was high, Alley had to go up, and Jorgensen slid in underneath. So, Swoboda is on at first, Jorgensen's on at second. It is an error charged against the catcher, Jerry May, on the throw. A sacrifice and an error, and that brings up Garrett now with runners at first and second. They still have to protect against the sacrifice. Score is tied 3-3, and we're in the top of the 11th inning. Garrett today struck out, flied out, was intentionally walked and grounded out. Garrett at the plate and Grody on deck. Third baseman Richie Hebner playing in the cutout of the grass at third now in anticipation of a bunt attempt by Wayne Garrett. Hartenstein working off the stretch. Garrett squares, bunts the ball to the first base side of the mound. The play is at first. It is a sack, moving the runners up. It was second baseman Bill Mazeroski who took the throw at first. So now Jorgensen is at third, Swoboda is at second, one man out, and Grody coming up. And coming out on deck now is Ken Boswell to bat for Ron Taylor. Cal Kuntz is up and throwing in the bullpen along with Tug McGraw. We're in the top half of the 11th inning. Score tied 3-3. The Mets with 2 runners in scoring position. Manager Danny Murtaugh of the Pirates brings his infield in now. Infield in for the Pirates to try to choke off the run. They're going to walk Grody and pitch to Boswell. Grody is being intentionally walked with first base open. This is to set up the double play possibility and the force all around. Outside for 1. Here it is outside, ball 2 to Grody. Outside, ball 3. Now the official score says no sack on Swoboda. Here's the pitch outside, ball 4. So the bases are loaded on the intentional walk. Boswell will bat for Taylor. Boswell was not in the starting lineup today because of the fact that he had been away on military reserve duty in Texas. Gene Garber is up and throwing in the bullpen now for the Pittsburgh Pirates, along with Joe Gibbon, the left-hander. It's Gene Garber and Joe Gibbon, and here comes Danny Murtaugh. He might want to make a switch to Joe Gibbon right here, a left-hand pitcher to work to Boswell. Boswell hangs in pretty well with left-hand pitching. Now, Gil Hodges doesn't have to leave him up there. Gil can switch off if he'd like to, as far as rules of the game are concerned. Conference at the mound. Murtaugh looks at the bullpen, that's all, and it's going to be the left-hander Joe Gibbon. Gibbon is coming in now to replace Hartenstein to pitch to Boswell. This spring, Gibbon was in 5 games. He pitched only 6 innings. He allowed 8 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, with an earned run average of 7.50. He is a veteran major leaguer who went from the Pirates to the Giants and came back, and now Clendenon will bat for Boswell. Gil Hodges makes a switch. Boswell, by the way, is out of the ball game. He cannot subsequently appear. And it is Clendenon batting for Boswell. Boswell had been put up as a batter for Taylor. You'll hear a reaction when Clendenon is announced. He played for many years here with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Oddly enough, in a newspaper story yesterday in Pittsburgh, he picked the Pirates to win the pennant. Joe Gibbon, with a lifetime record in the majors of 56 wins and 58 losses, has a lifetime record against the Mets of 6 wins and 4 losses. Last year with Pittsburgh, he won 5 and lost 1. With the Giants, he won 1 and lost 3. That's the announcement of Clendenon.
Lindsey Dunn says he gets booed in 4 cities. Montreal, where he played. Pittsburgh, where he played. Atlanta, where he played. Where he
Houston,
lived.
where he did not
Houston,
play.
where he did not play.
You're right.
If you recall, that was all a part of a deal when Dom refused to report to Houston and was going to retire. Finally was okay to play at Montreal, and then later on the trading date came to the New York Mets.
Gibbon is taking a sign from Jerry May. Left-hand pitcher working to a right-hand batter, and it's on the way. Swung on line up the middle for a base hit. 1 run has scored as Garrett crosses the plate. Swoboda comes across. 2 runs are scored. A play at third on Grody. He slides in safely. Holding it first is Clendenon. A single to center. 2 runs batted in. The New York Mets are out in front by a score of 5-3. 1 pitch, 1 swing of the Clendenon bat, and the New York Mets take a 2-run lead in the top half of the 11th inning. Now Tommy Agee is up. Agee is there. Jorgensen scored and Swoboda scored. Runners at first and third. Here's a swing and a miss for strike 1. So Mike Jorgensen, the rookie, delivered a base hit leading off, and he has scored the tie-breaking run here. Swoboda, who was out on an error, scored behind him. Grody is at third. Gibbon sets up. Pitch is low, and it's blocked. Rolls up a third base line, no advance. It hit in front of the plate and bounded off the chest protector of Jerry May, who kept it in front of him. It rolled up the third base line. No chance for Met runners to advance. Those runs were charged statistically against Twiggy Hartenstein. Mets 5, the Pirates 3. Gibbons' pitch is low. Jerry Grody's the runner at third. Donn Clendenon's the runner at first. Bud Harrelson's on deck now for the New York Mets. There's a clean base hit up the middle off the bat of Donn Clendenon. Swinging a ground ball to second base, taken there by Mazeroski. Kicks the bag, throws to first, double play, and the side is retired. A 4-3 double play on a ground ball near the bag at second, as the New York Mets picked up 2 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error, and there was 1 man left. And so in the middle of the 11th inning, the score is the Mets 5 and the Pirates 3.
Just 2 miles off Lake Avenue on the old Schuylerville Road, you'll find a small but growing business with big plans. Srade's Gardens. The season is just about to begin at Srade's, and while it's still a bit too early to do much planting, Ted and Doris invite you to look over their selection of rose bushes. They're available in many new varieties and all potted for you. Prices on rose bushes at Straits Gardens start at just $1.50. They have all the new AARS varieties with famous names like Jackson and Perkins, Star and Ball, and the American Rose, too. Ted Straight also has pansies in the market pack and would be more than happy to save some for you. Straits Gardens, just a little out of the way, but they offer big savings, and the trip is well worth the little time it takes. Keep listening to New York Mets baseball as the season develops. Ted and Doris Straight will have many specials for our Mets listeners. That's Straits Gardens, just 2 miles from downtown Saratoga, out Lake Avenue on the old Schuylerville Road. A small business with big plans. Straits Gardens.
Tug McGraw has come on to do the Met pitching now. Tug McGraw will be pitching for the Mets, facing the Pirates in the bottom of the 11th. Roberto Clemente, Willie Stargell, and Al Oliver scheduled up here in the bottom of the 11th for the Pirates. Mike Jorgensen, who delivered a base hit leading off the top of the 11th and scored the tie-breaking run, was making his first appearance at the plate this season as a New York Met. The Mets had him up at the tag end of the 1968 season when he batted 14 times and had 2 base hits. He was not with the Mets at any time last season. He is the only rookie on the Mets squad, and he was brought on as a late-inning replacement for Art Shamsky, who started at first base. Ron Taylor is out of the ball game, of course, having pitched 2 innings and retired 6 consecutive batters. No runs, no hits, struck out 1 and walked none. Augie Donatelli is asking the public address announcer to make an announcement asking fans to refrain from throwing debris onto the field out in right field. And here it is. Ron Taylor is the pitcher of record on the long side of a 5-3 score just now. Twiggy Hartenstein is the pitcher of record on the short side of that score. Manager Gil Hodges up on the steps of the Met dugout, just retreating now. Most of the Mets are on the dugout steps. Bottom half of the 11th inning. Roberto Clemente is up. What a day he's had for the Pirates. He's 3 for 4, and he's knocked in 2 of the 3 Pirate runs. McGraw's pitch, low for a ball. Nolan Ryan is up and throwing in the Met bullpen now. Nolan Ryan and Cal Kuntz. Hodges yelling something out to McGraw on the mound. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Big Willie Stargell on deck. This will be a 1-1 pitch. It's low, and McGraw goes behind, 2-1. Jerry Goody sends out the sign. Here's a 2-1 delivery. A little low now. McGraw's gone behind, 3-1. To Clemente, who looks down to sign man Frank Osiak at third. See if he's taking or if he's turned loose. Pirates trail by 2 in the 11th. Swing and a foul ball. He was turned loose, fouls it off. The count runs to 3-2. Brad Elia has hit 2 home runs this afternoon for the Minnesota Twins. He just came over to them from Ted Williams, Washington Senators, each with 2 men on. Brad Elia, A-L-Y-E-A. Pitch is high, and it's a walk, a leadoff walk to Clemente in the 11th inning. So don't go away, it's not over yet. Willie Stargell coming up is the tying run at the plate. That is the first walk issued by Met pitching today. The first walk issued by Met pitching today comes in the 11th inning. Stargell, who hit 29 home runs last year, is up. Today he is grounded into a double play, flied to right, grounded into a forced play, and flied to left. Play is held up once again now as debris continues to be thrown onto the playing field out and right all around Ron Swoboda. And so members of the grounds crew are being sent out there to try to clean some of it up. There are 5 members of the grounds crew going out and right now to try to clean up some of the debris that has been thrown out of the right field stand. Going around Rheingold. The umpires talk it over at home plate while Chris Pellicudis is out there in short right field. Meanwhile, Tug McGraw continues to throw to try to keep his arm warm.
Lindsay, there's a fella coming out with a box that must be, well, I don't know, 3 feet deep, about 2 feet wide, and I hope they're not going to fill that box up. We'll be here till the rest of the afternoon wears out.
They could fill it up with what they have out there. Another fellow has a broom, and he is sweeping the warning track. I suppose the most crushed fellow of all must be a youngster who jumped down out of the stands and went across the outfield totally unnoticed and unmolested while they cleaned up the debris. Nobody paid any attention to him whatsoever. Stargell is leaning on his bat at the plate. New York Mets and the Pittsburgh Pirates will be playing here again on Thursday night. We'll be on the air at 8 p.m. New York time to bring you that one. Then the Mets will move on to St. Louis. They'll play Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Then the Mets will come home to New York. They'll open up at Shea Stadium 1 week from today. That's Tuesday afternoon, April 14th, the Mets and the Pirates. Pitching coach Rube Walker has been out for a word with Tug McGraw. Walker's coming back to the dugout now. McGraw continues to throw. Now the grounds crew is leaving the field, and we're just about ready to resume play. The Mets are leading the Pirates by a score of 5-3. The Pirates are batting in the bottom half of the 11th inning. There is nobody out, and Roberto Clemente is the runner at first base as Willie Stargell steps in. There have been no pitches yet to Stargell. Play was suspended before a pitch was made to him. McGraw checks the runner. Here's the pitch. It's in there for a called strike. The left-hand batter, Willie Stargell. Bill Hodges made the change to the left-hander Tug McGraw with the full knowledge that Stargell and Oliver would be coming up, both left-hand batters. There's a swing and a high pop back of third, and Foy is there in foul territory at the moment. Makes the play in foul territory. Fouled out to third, to left, and grounded out second to first. This is his second year. Mike Jorgensen, first baseman, playing behind the runner. It's not Clemente's run they're interested in. It's the run at the plate they're interested in. That's the tying run. Here's a swing and a foul ball. Later comes the dugout. Hey, they're heading for a play, but they miss the play. So Oliver has fouled out. It'll be Alley coming up. Play is held up again as youngsters come out onto the field. Now to strike one to Gene Alley at the plate. McGraw started him off with a big curveball. Now we're going to continue play with park policeman in the warning track in the outfield. At first base, Clemente takes his lead. The Mets are leading 5-3. And again now, play is suspended. As one park policeman who had been a little busy on the other side of the park started off, and they tell him, stay out there. So he is. McGraw sets up. Alley's in and waiting. This is a strike one delivery, and it is hit on the ground foul up the third base line out of play. Frank Osiak comes off the coaching lines at third, retrieves the ball, tosses it back to McGraw. It's a two-strike count now to Gene Alley. The Mets trying to get Alley out of there to end the ball game and get themselves an opening day victory here at Forbes Field. The Mets are leading by a score of 5-3. Roberto Clemente takes his lead at first. McGraw with a two-strike pitch. Swung on and missed. The ball game's over. The New York Mets, for the first time in their history, in their 9th year, have won an opening day ball game, defeating the Pittsburgh Pirates in 11 innings. In the 9th inning, or rather in the 11th inning, no runs, No hits, no errors, a walk and one left. And the New York Mets are the victors by a score of 5-3. And to tell you something of how this game went, here's Ralph Kiner.
Well, Lindsay, it's only fitting, I guess, that the Mets win their first opening day game in a park where they won their very first game in 1962 after 9 consecutive losses. It was an exciting ball game, well played. The Mets got 2 runs in the first inning off starting pitcher Steve Blass. Pirates tied it up with a run in the first and a run in the second, and it was 2-2 until the Mets then took the lead by scoring a run in the 6th inning. It was again tied up, and it went that way until the 11th inning. Strong pitching by Steve Blass to start the ball game. He went 10 innings, gave up 3 runs, allowed 9 hits, struck out 9, and walked 2. And the losing pitch in the ball game was Chuck Hartenstein, who came in the ball game in the 11th inning. In that 11th inning, Mike Jorgensen, who was put in the ball game for defensive purposes, came up to bat for the first time. He singled into left field off the first pitch made by Hartenstein. On a play, Ron Swoboda tried to sacrifice the runner down a second. He bunted the ball right in front of the plate, and the big play of the ball game was when Jerry May threw the ball high to second base for an error, allowing runners to be safe at both first and second on that throwing error. Wayne Garrett then laid down a perfect sacrifice bunt to put runners at second and third, and then Jerry Grote due up was walked to load the bases. Then manager Gil Hodges decided to put in Ken Boswell to pinch hit for the pitcher. Boswell went to the plate, and then Joe Gibbon was brought in, a left-hander, to pitch to Boswell, but Boswell never got to the plate as he was taken out, and Donn Clendenon was inserted in his place. And with the first pitch by Joe Gibbon, Donn Clendenon singled sharply through the middle of the diamond to drive in 2 runs and give the Mets a 5-3 victory. So the Mets out here winning their very first ball game and winning it in their 9th year opening day first ball game win. Tom Seaver started for the Mets. He went 8 innings, allowed 3 runs, 9 hits, struck out 5, walked none. Ron Taylor picked up the victory in relief. He went 2 innings, did not allow a base hit, retiring all 6 batters he faced, and Tug McGraw came in the ball game to pick up a save as he worked 1 inning, giving up no hit and allowing no run. 34,249 saw the ball game, and the Mets now have won their first game of the 1970 season. The line score of the ball game, the Mets 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Pittsburgh Pirates 3 runs, a total of 9 base hits, 1 error, and they left 6 men on base.
New York Mets baseball has been a feature presentation of the New York Mets Baseball Network and Rheingold Extra Dry, the beer with a 10-minute head, and was brought to you by STP, the Racer's Edge, and by several local sports-minded businessmen who hope you have enjoyed today's game, and by the staff of WKAJ-FM 102.3 on your dial, who urge you to patronize the sponsors who make these broadcasts possible. Remember, you'll hear all the New York Mets games at home or away night and day on your New York Mets station, WKAJ-FM in Saratoga Springs, New York.